I'm here with a guy that invented this forum, and Phil, it's an honor. Phil Donahue, it's an honor to have you here in our humble studio here at the Palm.
Nice to be here, Greg. Thank you.
It's terrific. And if you do a search, a Google search on Phil Donahue, he did it all, from the talk show circuit to inventing the forum that we kind of look today as mainstream television. You really did it in those days when you were kind of swimming against the stream. What was it like in those days? I mean, just with that forum.
Well, we weren't sure what we had, you know. There was nobody like us. We had no band. We had no desk, no couch, no announcer. We did have a studio audience. We were also in Dayton, Ohio. We had very little power. Stars did not come rushing to Dayton, Ohio. So we had to survive on issues. And all of a sudden, what happened was an audience that we inherited, I realized that they were asking some very good questions during the commercials. So I just grabbed a mic one day and went out in the audience, and 29 years and 6,000 shows later, I'm still standing.
Shows.
Yeah, we did over 6,000 shows.
That is unbelievable. And you kind of broke through that third wall. You actually, before the days of involving the feedback direct, you know, one of the things they used to have in the, they'd have the orchestra in the pit, and the deeper pit was the audience. And it was like a moat that never kind of breached.
True. If you went to a television show, you sat in the audience, as we are, and the event was happening over there, but between us were cameras.
Right, big cameras.
Yeah, and you had to go like this to see what was happening. And all we did was put the cameras back here.
And look at the audience.
You know, put the audience up front. And then, of course, we had cameras back there to get them when they stood up. And the audience saved us. I mean, the audience was our answer to having no band.
Talking about this film, The Body of War, it's an 88-minute feature-length movie, and it's going to be at the UA at 9 p.m. on October 19th, and the 20th at the Southampton, Screen 2 at 6 p.m.
Yeah, it'll be 9 o'clock on Friday night, 6 o'clock on Saturday.
A little thumbnail on this, and this is your first attempt at the...
I've never made a movie before.
Will you make another movie?
Well, let's see how we, you know, we're still...
All right, first let's get through this one, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is a contact sport movie making, I'm telling you, and a big, exciting ride. I mean, this is really a rush.
What made you do it?
Well, I met a young man at Walter Reed Army Medical Center outside Washington.
Right.
And I just thought, I can't pat this kid on the head and disappear. I mean, I want people to see this, you know, see the pain. Don't sanitize the war. I mean, that was my inspiration, was the picture of the naked child running from the napalm. Do you remember that?
That's right, sure.
Screaming, totally stark naked, and you could see the smoke in the background.
Right.
That photograph won a Pulitzer Prize,
right,
as it should have. This is the opposite of what's happening to us today. We have a sanitized war. Nobody has to sacrifice, and our taxes will be reduced. This is just amazing. Anyway, this film is a close-up look at how we got here. How did we get to this place? And one of the consequences of certainly a massive blunder of a foreign policy decision. This kid can't walk. He is a T4, bullet exited, you know, severed his spine. He is paralyzed from the chest down. So it's our attempt to show what is happening behind the closed doors of thousands of homes across this country. This is not the only victim. We have more than 25,000 life-altering injuries from this war, and nobody sees them. Nobody talks about them. You know, it's...
And like any war, it's a waste of young, vibrant sons and daughters.
And it was so unnecessary.
Absolutely.
And the Congress ignored the Constitution. I mean, we just walked away from everything we give prizes for. Why I'm proud to be an American. I mean, my goodness, high school kids write their essays, and then the people who salute the flag the most fervently are the first ones to turn their back on the Constitution. I mean, only Congress can declare war. I can't wait for you to see our film, because we take the radical position that we ought to obey the Constitution.
Well, absolutely.
Voting for a course of action that will send young Americans off to fight and die for their country is the most solemn responsibility every member of this Congress will undertake.
We need to approach this issue as if we are sending our very own children to war.
When he puts on that uniform, he's my baby. And I have fear.
This is probably the hardest decision I've ever had to make.
The great debate we begin today represents the opening act of a drama that promises to define the 21st century.
My hands tremble, but my heart still throbs. I read this quote. Naturally, the common people don't want war. But after all, it is the leaders of a country who determine the policy.
This is a very up-close look at, this is an injury that not only altered the life of this soldier, who's now 27, he's 24 when he got hit, it alters the life of the whole family.
Right.
And it's happening in thousands of homes across this nation. And these are people who are dealing with these challenges alone, with no attention, with a VA system that may or may not be of service. This is huge, and you are right. I think the vast majority of the American people are standing mute while this is happening.
And they shouldn't. They should really be outraged. Well, the body of war, the first step is to take a look at this movie. The second step is to be aware, be angry enough, and make some serious changes, and I'm deeply honored that you're here with us, Phil.
Pleasure, Greg.
And,
Thank you.
Good luck at the festival.
Thank you.
And distribution is open, so all those fellas out there that are in our community that are in the distribution business, this is a property that must be picked up, and it should be encouraged. This type of movie making definitely should be encouraged.
I knew I liked this guy. Thank you,
Thank
Greg.
you for being here, Phil.
Pleasure. Thank you, kid.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Famke Janssen and Chris Eigenman are joining me now. They're here to show their film, Turn the River, rather. I got their names right, but I got the name of the firm. Well, okay. And it's exciting to have you in the Hamptons. You've been here before.
We both have been here before. Last year you were with the treatment.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's talk first about your new project that you'll be showing, Turn the River.
It's a film that we did. We finished it up a couple months ago. Famke plays a mother, but she's also a sort of insomniac pool player and poker player, and it's a story about how she rescues her kid.
Would you like to add to that?
Well, I think, did we make it clear that Chris wrote this and he
I
directed
wrote
it?
and directed it. I'm not in it.
And he did an amazing job.
Thank you, bless you.
But yeah, it was an amazing experience. And yes, I think in terms of story, I think you just have to see the movie. But it's a really beautiful movie, very moving, very touching, and fun and exciting because we have pool in it. And how many female pool hustlers have you ever seen on film?
And
None.
she does all of her own pool shots. I think it's a really, I guess one way to describe it is it's an incredibly muscular but hopefully delicate story, if that makes sense.
How did you come up with this topic since you are the screenwriter?
I played pool a lot when I was young and played cards a lot. So some of that is where that all came from. Famke and I had done a movie together as actors. I had started writing the picture before we did the treatment together, so I put the script away and then came back to the script and started writing it again, and it was really clear to me that I was writing it for Famke, and that was really liberating. It was really exciting to be able to hear her voice and see her, and she became a real kind of guide for me through the picture as I was writing it.
And so, when you got the script, what did you think? What went through your mind when you started reading it?
I was extremely flattered that I got to play this part that is so unique, and you know, what I loved about Kylie playing her and the way Chris wrote her is that she just had made a lot of bad choices and decisions in her life, and you really are rooting for her to make the right ones now. And that was one of the big challenges in playing this character, and where I think not that I haven't made bad decisions in my life, but I think she sort of is a victim of a lot of bad decisions that she's made in her life. And this is a very particular moment in her life and you hope that the entire audience will be rooting for her to make the right one now.
And even there are times when you're kind of aware she's making the wrong decision, but you want it to work out. Hopefully you're invested enough that there's a part of you like, this is not the best idea I've ever heard of in my entire life, but you really want her to succeed at it.
And it makes sense to her.
And it makes real sense to her. It's, you know, in a way it's a really small film, but in a way it feels really, really big and again, kind of muscular. There are other members in the cast, Rip Torn, Matt Ross, Lois Smith, Terry Kinney, a lot of people that you'll recognize. And also, I think it's a really good piece for actors. Everybody gets to do really interesting stuff. All the actors get to do interesting stuff.
I think the nice thing about this is that you gave the leading role to a woman. I mean, the voice that it was written in, it could have been a man or a woman, but it went to you, and I think that's
more normally it probably would have been a man.
Probably.
Mostly because when men write, I think it's more common that they would write about what they know.
Right.
Through the eyes of a male.
What's on the horizon in terms of projects? Any plans to go back to acting, or do you want to stay behind the camera?
Oh, no, I'll definitely act. You've got much going on.
Yeah, I did a bunch of movies. I always forget, but I did Taken with Liam Neeson. I did The Whackness with Ben Kingsley. I did a movie called 100 Feet. I did something for NBC, and then I'm doing a movie with James Gandolfini that starts shooting in about 2 or 3 weeks or something.
Wow, congratulations. A lot there going on with you.
Yeah, they're all
and you make time to come out here to the Hamptons for the film festival.
But of course, but I live in the city, so it's not that far.
Well, it seems to be for some people who didn't make it, so it's wonderful to have you here. It's wonderful to have you both talking with us at VVH.
Precious Wunderkind is running away.
Is it true? What about your school? And your piano lessons?
I hate the piano. Why can't we just all admit that we're mediocrities? It's genetic.
Don't ever say that again. Your grandpa Anatoly was a great tenor. Oh yeah, they have a statue of him in downtown Kirov.
Perfect. We can put up a statue of Nikita's erection in Fairfax in honor of his monumental obsession with that cradle robber next door. Are you on the rag, or the pilot next door just missed the landing strip again? What'd you say? Why do you think I listen to my music so loud? These walls are like paper. Major, Colonel, Private. Oh, don't be so quick on the trigger, Lieutenant. Be a general about it. Ha! You want a piece of me?
She's one of the more famous actresses out here for the film festival. Leelee Sobieski is joining me right now.
Hi.
To talk about her film, The Elder Son. You were there last night for the screening, and the audience got to talk to you about the movie and see the movie, and it seemed like a great reaction to the picture. Tell us about the movie.
Oh my gosh, it was really exciting because it was the first time I got to see it on a big screen, and people were laughing and I think really enjoying the film, and it's a really feel-good film. In fact, the original title was The Optimist, and it really leaves you with that feeling, and I don't know, the audience really liked it. It was such a warm response, and so it was a pleasure for me to be there, and it looked great seeing it on the screen for the first time. Yeah.
Now, just to tell people, the movie is basically about, and I'm not really giving anything away, but a young man who pretends to be someone he's not, and he certainly gets your attention, and that's that you sort of fall for him.
Yeah, we have a great cast. We have Rade Sherbergia, who also played my father in Eyes Wide Shut, and Shane West, and Regina Hall, and a young actor, Riley, and Eric Balfour, and it's a big kind of wild ensemble, and it has, you know, a whole bunch of different aspects. It's almost like really kind of old, in a way, slow-moving European comedy, but then with these really American elements, because it takes place in Los Angeles in the Russian community present day.
And actually, the director says that it's based on a play.
Yes, it is. Which I haven't read because it hasn't been translated into English, supposedly. Although maybe now it has, and I'm just behind on the times.
So what did you think when you first got the script? What went through your mind? Because you get so many scripts.
It was just so fresh, and I don't get that much opportunity to do something light. I think people think of me as serious because when I do interviews I become very serious, but really I'm goofy. But after this I also did another comedy called Walk All Over Me, which was just at the Toronto Film Festival, and I really liked this character, and she you know, is a daughter trying to get out of her house, and she's kind of angry, and you know, I certainly remember those moments myself, and I was just taken with the family and the message of family in the script, and finding your own family, and being able to choose your family and like love and respect the family that you've been born with as well. And I just think family is one of the most important things, and we lose sight of that all the time.
That is a good message. The movie is about family, and it's also about the sacrifices we make for the people we love, which I thought was really nice. I thought that came across well. It's a comedy, and it's some parts of it are a little slapstick, not so much so but
you still get to fall in love with the characters, and we had such a great time making it. We really did.
And you have such a varied career. You did mention that you did Eyes Wide Shut. I think you were about 13 when you did that. That was a long time ago. And then you've done other things along the way, a lot of serious roles. What new challenges would you like? What are you looking forward to since you've done so much?
Well, I just finished a film in Bulgaria with Steve Zahn and Danny Glover called Night Train, and I play a really mysterious character in that one called Chloe, and I get to be a medical student, but more of a woman, and so that's really exciting for me as well, because I kind of left the industry, I guess, kind of as a, you know, young lady, and I went to school for a couple years and lived life, and then the last few years I've just been back, and I've pretty much been working straight, and I guess as time is progressing and I've become a woman in real life, or I'm trying to, you know, the roles become more interesting. The older you get, the more complicated life can become, and so getting to take on some of those challenges has been nice, and in its strange way, getting to play with sexuality as a woman is also something that I find really exciting, and layers and mystery. There's never really just one genre of film that I've ever really liked. I equally like the big budget film as I like the independent, and I think hitting different audiences and different groups of people and types of people is what's important, and that's what I like, I guess, if I've answered that question at all.
I'm here with Scott Prendergast of Cablevision and Lisa Kudrow, and they're going to talk about their new movie. Scott is the director, and he's also the star of the movie and the writer. And Lisa, of course, is a big star that everybody knows. So, Scott, tell us about the movie.
The movie's called Cablevision. It's based on a true story. My brother is a National Guard soldier, and he was in Iraq for a year and a half. And while he was there, I went to stay with his wife, my sister-in-law, to help take care of my nephews. And we had a horrible time. And so I wrote a movie about it, and Lisa plays my sister-in-law.
And Lisa, what was it like working with Scott? Because Scott is a first-timer in so many ways, and he does so much in the movie. He's, as I said, the director, and he's also the star. What was it like working with him?
Magically. Well, it was great working with him. I felt very safe working with him because he was the writer and the director and the actor. So I could, just working with him, I knew exactly the tone. I could catch the tone he wanted. I won't say exactly because I may have been off. But
no.
I think I got, yeah, it was helpful, very helpful.
And how did he get you involved? Because you're a great get.
Oh, thanks.
Good gut,
Well, I got his script to read, and he sent a note along with it, and like a little packet to explain what the thing was. It was a big mess of things, and but the script really, the other stuff I didn't need. I just really read the script, and it was really well written, and the characters were good and three-dimensional. As outrageous as some of them were, the stories were, it was just really well done. I liked a sense of humor.
Listen, can I ask you a question? Are you a clown?
How much they paying you, dude?
How could you do this to me?
Do you suffocate?
What? What are you doing?
What is that?
What is this? So I guess we haven't seen you since the wedding.
Never been to Iceland, but
Come back here, camera!
I passed it on my way.
Well, what about Southampton?
Sam,
what about him?
Who else would it be? The Harlem shows and I haven't been to places else than that upstate Ohio. I've been there. They got lots of roads out there, and some of them are nice days. You go out.
I may know of a job for you.
is this one of those plushy things? Because I don't know about that. I mean, unless you wanted to pay for the dry clean. No, even then, no.
And now, speaking of sense of humor, the film has been described as a quirky comedy, and some have even said that it's sort of Woody Allen-esque. And how do you feel about that?
I feel good about that. I guess that's a good comparison. It's a comedy, but it's also sad. It's got a very dramatic side to it. So I think it's actually kind of like two movies. Lisa's story is a little bit more dramatic, and my side is a little bit more slapsticky and a little bit more comedic. But they come together well. Although even though her character is more dramatic, it's very funny as well. I mean, she's the way she treats me. Her character doesn't like my character, and she's very hostile to me in a very funny way in the beginning. So, I don't know.
Lisa, without giving away the entire movie, because I know a lot of people are going to see it, tell me what your perception of it is, if you had to sort of describe it.
Oh, that's my perception of it. That it's sort of, what's the great part about the movie is that it was kind of challenging to put these, really a fun comedic part and combine it with this other part that's sort of dead serious, and put it together so that it doesn't look like two movies cut into the same thing. It really feels like the same movie, and that the two pieces of it were put together really well. It really is well done that way.
I think it works because Lisa is so, even though it was a very dramatic storyline, there's still comedy in it. I think she carried a lot of the burden for that.
Well, so. Now, we're lucky to have you at the Hamptons Film Festival. You've done quite a few. What are you expecting to get out of this experience here?
Good vacation. We're just happy to be here. We're having such a great time. We're staying in a...
And it hasn't been on the East Coast either.
Yeah, I haven't been out on the East Coast yet.
Because these festivals are good. They're really helpful.
Yeah, so this is our premiere on the East Coast, and so everyone I know from New York is coming up, and we're just glad to be here. Very glad.
Yeah.
So I've heard so much about this festival. It's nice to finally be here.
Well, welcome. Tell me what's next for you in your career. I know you're hoping to get this movie sold because you...
Right. We actually have sold it.
Congratulations.
Thanks. It'll be announced this week. It's announced now. So sold it to Lisa, and she's going to show it in her home.
I bet she has a big movie theater.
She does. She can get like 3 or 4 people on that couch. I think the ticket sales are going to be good.
It's not true. None of this is true.
No, this is all a joke.
I just get scared of people saying, well, what happened was Lisa Kudrow ended up buying the film, and then it's, I don't know why that's good.
I'm making a new movie about my mother. This movie's about my brother and sister-in-law. My next movie's about my mom. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
And Lisa, what's next for you?
Oh, well, I've done a couple things, some movies that'll be coming out soon. So, yeah, a Hilary Swank movie called P.S. I Love You. That's really fun, really good. That'll be out in December. And then a couple of other things. I don't know when they're coming out, though. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. We're here with Hannah Hatsprung, a lovely young actress from Germany who's one of the rising stars. And you're in a movie out here. Tell us about the movie.
Oh, it's a great movie. It's about a young pianist. She's really good in playing the piano, and she's in prison because she committed murder. And there she meets an old lady who's 60 years old and is a teacher in prison for piano teacher. And they meet, and at the beginning she doesn't want to, they don't get along well, but then through the music they become really good and close friends, and she helps her to get out of it, actually.
And now your movie is called 4 Minutes. And what's the significance of the title, 4 Minutes?
Because it's the ending is a great big concert, and it's 4 minutes long.
So how does it feel to be headlining this festival, to be a rising star amongst all these other actors?
It's amazing. It's such a big honor, and I'm so happy to be here. I heard about this festival the last years, especially because of the other Germans who are rising stars, and I was like, wow, how cool is that? And this year it's me. I mean, this is really, really, really amazing. And I was in the Hamptons when I was 8 the first time. I was here twice, and I loved it so much, and I was so happy to come back here. It's great.
Well, what do you think of the Hamptons now? I mean, I don't know how much you remember from when you were 8.
Exactly, but for me, nothing really changed. I really had it in such great memory, and still, I love it. It's amazing. And the beach, that was actually the first place. When I arrived, he was like, can I go to the beach? And they gave me a lift to the beach, and I was taking a walk for an hour, and it's just amazing. Oh.
Now, how does this compare to where you're from in Germany?
Here? Well, the beach and the ocean, I mean, this is something we don't have, and I'm crazy about that. I just love it.
And what town are you from in Germany?
I was born in Hamburg, I was growing up in Munich, and I live in Berlin.
That's a big art capital, and you're trying to make the transition to sort of the American screen. How is that going for you? Do you have any projects that are coming up that are based here?
No, not at the moment. I've got lots of projects going on in Germany at the moment, and that's okay. I mean, we will see. I'm so young. Let's see what happens. But really great, of course. I mean.
All right, well, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.